Happy Warrior Wednesday, everybody. Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Giving you a little smudgy poo of juniper grown here in Sedona. So I'm smudging. I use that, and I use California White Mountain Sage. Outside of that, outside of that, I don't use anything from anywhere else. So if you want to send me Palo Santo, don't, because I give it away. Don't use it. So thank you very much, and thank you very much, and thank you very much. So I'm saying hello, and hi Sammy Joe, and I want to thank everybody. I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank everybody for my birthday salutations and celebrating me by just saying hello and happy birthday. And some of you sent longer messages. Some of you called me and sang to me, which really, it just tore me up. I get emotional when that happens because I've never been one to be celebrated or to celebrate myself. So it's wonderful to experience what I experienced. And then I over the weekend, with that energy happening, we also had a group at my home, Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Studios, via our host, who I call my host, Eileen Lane. We had 8 people, and we made drums, and we made medicine, and we walked through that process for 2 days, and it was beautiful. And as soon as we were done and they were gone, and I packed up my things, I didn't even clean up. I just packed my suitcase and went out the door, and I was gone by 1 o'clock, and I was just with my family over the last few days. Just got home today about an hour and a half ago. And but I really, really, really want you to know that it meant a lot to me, because it just did. I feel loved. I always feel loved. I'm loved because I love. Aho. And because I love, I'm loved. Aho. That's the beautiful circle of that, the full circle of it. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my mom and brothers and sisters for coming out and celebrating with me. I'm sure that was difficult. I don't know. Anyways, but it was fun and it was nice. Got to spend a lot of time with mom. Well, in 3 days, how much time can you spend? But when I'm with my mom, I'm with my mom. Anyways, stopped down in San Diego County to see a couple of friends who didn't know each other, but now they're friends, and that's awesome. And if anybody has been like not feeling good, or just don't feel fully in their body, or just feel pressured, or you're down on the war, or down from the war, or you're down from C-19, or whatever the nonsense of the day is. Sorry, war is not nonsense, but war is caused by nonsensical people, and I wouldn't even call them people. Anyways, there's always a bigger picture about war behind the scenes that we don't know about, just like the C-19, just like the political nonsense and everything else. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a view. I don't care about your view. I don't care about your story. I don't give a shit about that stuff. I don't follow the war, because if I get caught up in the distraction of destruction and lives, guess what happens? I can't do the work that I do in the present moment, right here, right now. I can't hold space for them if I'm caught up in the indulgence of sitting in front of CNN or any of the N's or whatever that is. That is none of my business. Sorry, world. That's the way I roll, and I roll that way politically. I roll that way with the whole C-19 over the last couple of years. I have not been sick. I have not been vaccinated. And if that bothers you, good. It should, because I am healthier than healthy has been healthy. Aho. I have traveled half these United States, and because I believe how I believe, and I don't believe how others believe. I walk through, and I haven't gotten sick. I don't believe in whatever. People die from the flu, they die from pneumonia, they die from all kinds of things. But nobody's up in arms about that. Nobody's up in arms that the big pharma is keeping us sick with cancers right? And they don't have a cure. That, you know, they fill you with poison to kill your body almost, and that may help for a little while, and you may be cancer free, and you may not. I don't concern myself with cancer because I cancer a whole. I didn't mean to say what I want, what I'm talking about, but I'm listening to other people jibber jabber about what's happening in the world, but they don't do anything about what's in front of them. They don't do anything about their brokenness from a childhood, their non having a ground, a foundation, the poisons that they put in their body on a daily basis. You know, my brother made me a beautiful cake. Upside down pineapple cake for me. He made 2 of them, and he wanted me to take one with me. And instead of taking the thing with me, I took 2 pieces of cake with me that were already wrapped, and I left the cake behind. I asked him to give that cake to some beautiful friends of his that are really good friends of his. And they would enjoy it more than I would. Not that I wouldn't enjoy it. It's just I don't need to eat a full cake or a piece of cake, although I enjoyed my piece. Anyways, so I don't need to put poison in my body. Walking Crow doesn't drink. Walking Crow doesn't smoke pot. Walking Crow doesn't do cocaine. Walking Crow doesn't do a lot of things that people do in the world, and I'm healthier and better for it. I'm 160 pounds after being obese most of my life. Most of my life I was obese. And near the end of my obesity, I was 238 pounds. And when I let go of my old life, all that came off. And I've been 160 pounds for the last over 10 years. And obesity is not something I'm proud of. Obesity is not something I encourage. In fact, I usually go to lunch with my friend Master CEO in Los Angeles, and we go to this buffet, Chinese buffet that he likes, and I don't like going there. I go there to honor him, but when I walk in there, I see people with oxygen, I see people with big ass ankles, those little carts that they ride because they can't walk, wheelchairs, walkers, and they're poisoning themselves with all that junk that they pile up on their plates. And you should see the pile on their plates. I go in there and eat fruit, maybe a couple of cream puffs. I try not to eat any of that stuff because that at $6 a plate or $6 a serving, $7, that's poison. I don't need to eat that crap. You know, I just don't need to eat that crap. So why would you feed yourself poison if you're a spiritual being, B-E-A-N? B-E-I-N-G. You know, why would you do that? I don't do that. There's a lot of people who are pot smokers, and they make excuses for why they smoke pot. It's natural, it's organic, it's this and that and the other thing. But what is it in your heart that's broken? Heart, lungs, air, I love them loved. What is it that you don't do anything about, but you smoke pot and it's take yourself out of yourself? I don't do that. And if you don't like what I'm saying, too bad. Delete me because you're deleting yourself from the bigger picture. I'm a part of the bigger picture. Hey, more and more these days, people are finding me who are higher vibration. If you are lower vibration around me, you're going to fall away, and I'm not going to go looking for you. I'm sorry, I can't help you because you're not listening. I speak of the highest vibration. I have to. I will poke the bear with a stick because sometimes the bear needs poking because they won't do it for themselves. I was speaking to a friend today who is always helping others, but she doesn't help herself. Help herself. And she was down on herself because she's not doing this and that and the other thing. Well, you can't give away what you have in God. Why don't you do for you before you do for others? On the plane, on the airlines, they say when the oxygen levels drop in the cabin, and the masks fall, put the mask on yourself first. You know, I can see all these people running around the plane and trying to help somebody else when they can't even help themselves. Sorry, you're going to perish doing that. You're going to die doing that. I have to save me before I can save you. I'm not interested in saving you. I don't save my clients. I walk them through. I teach them how. I show them how. I support them. It may not sound very nice at times because they're hard-headed. And the person I was talking to today was hard-headed. Sorry, not sorry. Now, when I tell you something, when I say you should change the way you talk, and you say, what do I mean? What do I mean? I'm gonna manifest. When I retire, when I have time, when I get off of work, when, that's not manifesting. Sorry, not sorry. I'm off now. I'm off and running on a tangent. That is not manifesting. I am, I do, I can, I will, and I do. Now, my friend Master Seal, last time I saw him in Los Angeles, he said, you know, I've been watching your videos. I read what you write on social media. I see the drums hanging on the wall. I see where you live. And you know what he said? He said, I want to cry. And I said, cry. He wants to cry because he saw this man, this crow, walking crow, walk through his life who didn't have anything and went from 0 to 60 because he was willing to do what it takes and go through what I go through. Not give to others before I give to me. Oh, how do you do that? When you don't have anything to give, what do you give? I give of what I had to give. I gave of my medicine. I gave of my peace of mind. I gave of my heart. I gave of my voice. I gave of my soul. Oh, and people find me, and people honor me, and people call me to come to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicines and studios and stay and make drums, or come as clients, or to be mentored. You know, if you tell me you want to be more mentored and you learn from me, and then you keep talking the same old talk, go find yourself another mentor. I don't have time a day for that. I would like to speak to somebody who's listening, not hearing, but listening. This is where we listen. Oh, oyato, oh, oyato, oh, oyato, oh, oyato. Listen as she whispers through the wind. Listen as she whispers through the trees. Listen as she whispers to your heart. But listen, listen, listen. If you want to, hear yourself self-talk and practice parrotism. Do you know what parrotism? Parrotism is you repeat the things that you hear out there that don't work. They're blah, blah, blah. They're trendy metaphysical nonsense. And you repeat that and you become a parrot too. And then it becomes apparent that you don't know what you're talking about because you're going backwards and not forwards. Aho, aho, aho. I refuse to go backwards. I went backwards for 50 years. And when I became an elder at 52, I decided to do something about my life. I went back to and get my GED at 50 years old. It was my big secret. Nobody knew that I didn't have that, but I have it now. And do I need it? No. Because I get downloaded everything that I do, and everything I do is downloaded from the spirit world. And they don't have a GED in the spirit world. And they don't have a shamanic school in the spirit world either. They only have that where they're receiving monies and taking your money for teaching you something that you're not even using. Sorry, I know too many people who get so-called shamanic training and don't do anything with it. Nothing. They buy more crystals. They buy a crystal bed or a light bed and all this other stuff that comes between them and their clients. And what are they doing really? I don't know. I don't use that kind of stuff, and I have very good success with my clients because I work with them in the emotional body. How do I work with them in the emotional body, Walking Crow? By listening, by looking at them and reading and learning how to read the emotional body. And what is it telling me? I can tell you a whole lot about yourself without reading cards and reading the body. I'm not putting down card readers. That they do something completely different than I do. And that's okay. It's okay to do something different. But when you're fooling yourself and you're putting something between you and your client and it's temporary solution to a long-term problem, what are you giving that person? What are you giving them? I will do soul journey with them. We will go back and get the splintered parts where they are HOLE and allow them to become WHOLE on their own, a whole, without lights, without hocus and without pocus and all kinds of other stuff that people claim that they do. I don't know what people do because Walking Crow does what Walking Crow does, and I don't ask you what you do. People seem to want to tell me all the time what they do, and I didn't ask, and then they give me advice. If I wanted your advice, I'd ask for it. I don't give that advice to people who don't ask for it. I ask a lot of questions. I ask important questions. I ask questions that poke you in the chest, that poke you in your brain, that poke you in your soul, that poke you in your low self-esteem, that poke you in your heart, that poke you in your a place of connection with water, that poke you in your foundation. Are you? Will you? Can you? Do you? I get excited like I am right now because I am passionate about what I do. I don't call myself something that I'm not. I didn't name myself. I have a certificate on my wall, which is the only certificate I have back there. You can see it, that my teacher, Emma Molina Enriquez, Crow Mother, Lady Eagle Feather, gave me when she gave me my name. I just didn't call myself Crow or Walking Crow or Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. I didn't. I was named that. I was given that honor. And I don't mix medicines. I'm not Shakti Walking Crow. No, that's not how it goes down. You're either one or the other. And if you're mixing medicines, what are you doing? I ask a lot of questions. And I know a lot of people who mix a lot of medicines and have a lot of plaques on their wall. Wow, yeah, I'm like, well, I guess my ego's not that big. I don't have any plaques. I don't need to show anybody anything. That's up there for me because they honored me with that, and I honor them for giving that to me. So I hang it in my bedroom where I sleep, not in the living room where people come over. Hey, Anthony's on. Walking Crow is on fire. I'm 61. I turned 6. I had a birthday. I'm 60. Do I look 61 to you? You can say yes. It's okay. I won't get butthurt. Life is changing. I am changing. I am moving forward and becoming. I'm always becoming. I'm always becoming. I'm always becoming. I'm always becoming. Are you ready to become? Are you ready to be? Are you ready to be in the being of the doing and the doing of the being? Not the thinking, not the gonna, not the I've been talking about and I was making a list. What does that serve? That's all about slowing yourself down. What are you filling yourself up with? Distractions of destruction? You really can't do anything about it right here, right now. If you hold space for the world, hold space for the world, but don't be specific about which part of the world you're going to be holding space for. I hold space for a big world, a whole, and I never know which part is going to be affected because it's none of my business. It's none of my business which part of the world will be affected by the energy that I hold. And if we're holding hands and if you're standing in a circle with me, that expands. That expands to you and to them and onward and so forth. I get excited when people talk to me and their their slip of their low self-esteem shows, their low self-worth, their broken connection, their broken foundation, their dismissal, their broken relationships, their abandonment of parents, but they don't do anything about that. I was talking to a beautiful friend today from Florida, and we talked about just that. We talked about repairing the issues in the tissues. What issues in the tissues are you ready to repair? Oishino, 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 oishino. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I was born ready, and they tried to slap it out of me in Catholic school at 5 years old. But when I said yes to healing energy healing, I signed up in Studio City, and they sent me to classes at San Fernando, California, at Poverello Retreat Center, which was in 1967, 1966, the Poverello School where I went to kindergarten and they slapped me and they pinched me and they pulled my hair and they pulled my arm and they abused me. But that's where I went back to heal. And guess what I did? I healed. And I'm 160 pounds. I've been 160 pounds for 10 years, 12 years, however long it's been. I do not live in my obesity and excuses of what I can't do or shouldn't do or won't do in life. Aho. If you have a dream, do your fucking dream and quit your job. That's what I'm going to tell you, because I was fired from my job in Los Angeles working in technology, and my ex-wife, and I just got married, wanted me to find another job, and I couldn't stomach that world anymore, because that world kept spitting me out, laying me off, firing me, and like a dog to its vomit, listen to me, like a dog to its vomit, I kept going back until I couldn't go back anymore. And then you know what happened? She left. She left because she had to go do what she needed to go do and be her. And she could boss around that little boy or whoever that she wanted to boss around to do the things that she wanted him to do. And I had to be me. I had to be me because I am me. And I loved her very much. And I say goodbye because I loved her. If you love somebody, they tell you, if you love somebody, let them go. If they were truly yours, they'll come back and they'll return. Well, she's not back and it's okay. I'm not butthurt about it. I'm grateful for the lessons that I learned, not only from that relationship, the marriage before it and the marriage before it, because they motivated me to heal my relationship, the issue in the tissue with my beautiful mother, Evangeline B. Rodriguez. Aho, Angie. You know, when I left Los Angeles yesterday, I went into her room and she was still in bed. And she was asleep, actually. I woke her up and I just kissed her face. I kissed her face. She was giggling, you know, because we don't do that in my family. I do that to her. And I don't wait for it to be done to me, but I want to be as loving as possible to my mother, as loving as possible to my brothers and sisters, if they'll let me. But I get judged harshly because of what I say and because of who I am. And that's not my problem. That's not the issue in my tissue. I've repaired the issue in my tissue. And I love my mother. And I love my father, who's been dead for 31 years. And my father's been dead for 31 years. I've been sober for 30 years. And I'm 61 years old. Listen to the numbers. Aho. So I am blessed beyond belief. I am blessed. And you can too. But to be blessed beyond belief, you have to stop a lifetime of no's and start saying yes to yourself. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I do. Yes, I am. I am the I am that I say I am. You don't have a dog in this race. You don't have a say in this, in what Walking Crow is. But I do have a say in you. I see you and I understand because I've been there. I've done that. I failed miserably over and over and self-destructed for 50 years. Self-destructive for 50 years. I owe myself the best that the world has to give, the best that I have to give, and the best, and this is the best of all, that you have to give. And I owe you the best because you deserve the best, even though you talk to yourself the way you talk to yourself and you don't believe you to be special. You are special because you were alive and you were breathing in and you were breathing out. Aho, shinawana, honata, aho, shinawana. Hey, let me burn a little sage. Aho, aho. So I mentioned the C19 earlier and not being sick. I've been an asthmatic for years. I don't speak to the asthma and I don't carry an inhaler. And right now I'm breathing smoke, and none of those things bother my lungs. When I do ceremony, I smoke the pipe, but I don't take the smoke into my lungs. I take it into my mouth, place of expression, and I let it out, and it rises to Great Spirit and Great Mother and the Spirit guides and the wisdom that's in the heavens, and I am kept healthy. Now, I'm not saying that anybody else deserves to be sick or die. Believe me, that's not That's not okay. But what will you do for yourself? When will you let go of trying to save other people and do for others when you can't even do for yourself? Lisa, I'm talking to you. Aho, aho. Let that shit go. Repeat. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. Aho, mitakuyasin. All my relations, all our relations, all our relations, all our relations. When I let that shit go, I went from 138 to 160. I've been 160 pounds for over 10 years. I went up last year or so during the C19, 10 pounds to 170, and I came back down. And I'm a little Slim Jim, you know, like the meat thing that they sell in the store, Slim Jim. Anyways, I'm fired up. I live in the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful places on earth, right? What will you give yourself? You want to live 3 feet from the neighbor? And, you know, and when you need toilet paper, you just stick your arm out the window. And, you know, you want to live in congestion and traffic and give yourself that. My friend Sammy Jo logged on first tonight, and she lives in Nebraska. And I'm going to be making drums there on the 22nd and the 23rd for Earth Day. We're going to hold ceremony. We're going to be making drums, not just me, but I'm going to facilitate that. And she's hosting it. And if you want to facilitate, if you want to host a drum making journey and want me to come and facilitate that, if you host me and have 6 to 10 people, I will give you your drum free. Did you hear what I said? It's worth it. I was in Missouri earlier in January, and I'm going to be back in Missouri on the 1st and the 2nd to make more drums. I'm going to Torrey, Utah for the spring solstice event. We're going to do ceremony. We're going to make drums, and then I'm going to be back in Missouri in September on Labor Day weekend. We're going to be making drums there. Aho, aho. My life is my life. My life is my life because I say it's my life. I'm not a slave to the time clock. I am not a slave to my paycheck. I am not a slave to things that I have no control over. If you have a job, you have no control. I have control. I work when I want to. I was just gone for 3 days. And before that, we made drums and boom, I was out. And who knows where I'm going to be next week. You know, my life is, I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be out in Boynton Canyon with my friend Aileen hiking out there. Aho, when the tourists aren't here on a Wednesday. Aho, aho. Anyways, I'm excited. And I'm just not excited for me. I'm excited for those 7 to 10 people, 12 people that logged on to listen to what I had to say. Whether you like it or not, I don't care. That's not my issue and your tissue. Aho, if you don't like the way it falls on you, what do you have to do for yourself? What do you have to do something different, to want something different, to be who you were meant to be? I was always Walking Crow, and they slapped it out of me at 5 years old. And I lived like one time a medium said, your father's upset with you from the spirit world because you live like a Westerner. I said, you mean like a white man? She said, yes. I said, yeah, I lived like a white man for years. I am not a white man. My birth certificate wrongly says that I am white, and there's nothing white about me. You're looking at me. You are looking at me. Oh, I'm an indigenous person from 3 different nations. Oh, there's a small amount of Spanish in me, and they're not even white. They're not even white. They're Moorish, and they're all kinds of things. They're German, they're Moorish, they're a big mix of mutts. But what do you want? If you would like to mentor with me, my phone number is area code 818-442-1717, 818-442-1717. Send me a text. Call me and say, I want to be mentored, and we will work that out. We will pick an hour a week or whatever it is to mentor you. Where are you at? And I'm going to ask you hard questions like I ask you guys now. I ask questions that people don't ask. They want to know what's your favorite song, or What were you dancing to in 1980, whatever? These are spiritual people asking these questions, and they ask those questions because they're shallow. They are not of depth. They're not of high vibration. They try to, it's like, what is that? I don't give a damn what your favorite song is. I don't care. I don't care what your favorite food is. I don't care what your favorite car is. All that is Mayic energies. Wasted Maya. Wasted Mayic energy. Aho. Heather Bethany. Did they really put that on the birth certificate? Yep. I can show it to you. It says I'm white. Really, Bethany. That's what they did for 500 years on these continents of the America, whether you're in Canada, whether in South America, Central Mexico, or here. That's what they put. They tried to kill us. They tried to remove us from history, and they're still trying to do that. Aho. Aho. So, it doesn't sound pretty, and we may not like it, but that there's the facts. And if you're not going to find that in your history books, because they're white history books. They don't have anything to do with people like me, or Africans that were brought here as slaves, or the Irish that came here because the English were stealing from the country, were stealing all the food and saving it for themselves. And there wasn't no potato famine. That was the English stealing their food. So the Irish, the blacks of Europe, had to come here to make their own way, aho, and they carry their own Celtic medicine. I honor the Irish, aho. I honor the Roman. I honor the Scots. I honor I do honor the true English. I honor the Prussian, the German. Aho. I honor all indigenous people, indigenous to the land, who came here looking for something better because others were killing and stealing. And our country's no better. Our country's out there stealing and killing, and the what's the name of that? The Pope, I was always apologizing for the sins of the church, but they don't give back the properties. They don't give back. They don't pay. They don't give us recompense for the things that they took. Right? I call it out. I'm not proud to be baptized or part of when I was a part of the Catholic Church. They tried to beat Walking Crow out of me, and they failed miserably. Aho shinawana honata. Aho shinawana. Hey, thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Mother. Thank you, power and the guidance of the medicine wheel and all our relations. All our relations. All our relations. Aho shinawana. Hey, sense. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting the words that I speak. I'm given the words that I speak. I'm given the knowledge that I have. I don't learn those things from a book. I was given those things from Spirit. Aho. Aho. I love you guys a lot. And thank you for supporting Walking Crow Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. And if you ever want to know what Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine is, Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine is me, Walking Crow. I embody that. It's the drum. It's the knowledge. It's the healing. It's the understanding of who you are and who I am and what we are. Aho shinawana honata. Aho shinawana. My name is Walking Crow, and this was some intense bullshit on a Warrior Wednesday. Be the warrior in your life. If you want a lover, be the lover that you would want in your life. Be that lover first for yourself. Love you. Look in the mirror and brush your own teeth. Don't be looking at your neighbor or next door or their car or any of that stuff, because it isn't real. Be who you are. Be the real deal. I am the real deal. My name is Walking Crow, and this is Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, and I love you guys very, very